It's very hot today. It's very hot.
I miss hot weather. When it's cold, I miss hot weather. When it's hot, I miss cold weather. I
Wow.
don't know. Something about the human condition. It's like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, the opposites. Yeah, the whole experience is wonderful. It is good. The challenges, the apparent challenges, somewhere to get to deadlines. It is beautiful because it is just arising from nothing. It is already an expression of that which isn't really going anywhere. It's already an expression of that which isn't really an experience. It's just neutral. It's already not moving, appearing as the movement, going to the left, going to the right, up and down. But
So,
the whole thing as it is it is just an appearance in this vastness. It is fleeting. It's going. It's just like clouds. They appear and disappear. Even when they may seem to be something is trying to hold on to some stories. But stories they always come and go. You can never really hold on to anything that is fleeting. Yet even what seems to be a you can also be seen as just another story, another knowledge in the memory, something that is memorized. So even that too is just fleeting. It can never really be held. It can never really be seen. It can only be imagined by nothing, by no one. The imaginary self living in the imaginary world, thinking that there's something to get from the imaginary world, not realizing that itself as it is also imagined. It's something that is not even there, as separate from this, from what is, from vastness. So I would say here it is always recognized, it is always seen that there's nothing separate from wholeness. So here there's nothing that is trying to help anybody or anyone here, because the what appears to be a separate self is seen as just an appearance, as nothing, something that doesn't really exist. So that's why I always say uh, there's just this, and there's nothing that is separate from this that can get this or learn about this or become this. You know, learning about this, trying to become this is just a story appearing in this. So there is no meaning. Nothing has built-in meaning. This right here doesn't mean anything. These words, they don't mean anything, but the meaning may seem to be imposed, may be imposed. Something may say, but this means that if you say like that, it means, but it doesn't really mean anything. Even thinking that this means something doesn't mean anything. So it's okay to talk about the story. It's okay to engage in this conversation about that which can't really be grasped, that which can't really be seen by anyone. It's okay. There's nothing wrong or right. It's just what's happening. There is no why. Even why, saying why or asking why, it doesn't really matter to this because it's also an expression of this. It's also this saying why. It's also wholeness saying why. Why this? Why that? But that too is just wholeness saying but. Every movement, every direction, every thinking, every expression, every sensation is already that which really can't be grasped, that which is already whole and complete, that which isn't lacking anything, that which uh, you already are. You are that. You can never not be that. Even the apparent separate self is already that which is whole and complete, appearing as what seems to be the separate self. There is already no separate experiencer. They can be just an experience which really doesn't belong to anyone. When there is looking happening, it is always seen that this apparent happening is not happening to anyone, for anyone. It's just what seems to be happening. In the story, when the story is believed in to be real, it may seem as if it's going somewhere. But when it is seen that this is just a story, it is always seen that it's going nowhere. And it can never be seen by anything that seems to be separate. It can only be seen by that. Because the separation itself is just a story appearing in that which isn't separate from itself. There is no real separation except as a thought. It's just a thought construct saying, oh, there is separation. I feel separate. But I can understand this intellectually. It is not seen here. That which seems to say those words is already that which doesn't really understand anything. It knows no separate self. It is already whole and complete. This can't really be spoken. This can't really be seen. This can't really be understood because it's everything. how can everything be understood? And then if all there is everything, what is it that can be separate from everything to understand everything? Everything is everything. There's nothing separate from everything. So it's everything already.
So in the story, back in the story, it's
Um,
hot in Durban, right?
yes,
So you have to figure out ways to cool down. You have to wipe the sweat off your face. You have to drink a lot of water, right?
yeah,
In the story, but sometimes, what we need to do because of the discomfort that manifests itself in the story is not so obvious, right? Sometimes you have to change. It may become too hot to live in Durban. People may have to move from Durban in the next century. Probably not, but
yes,
some areas in the world probably, right?
yes,
So there's decisions. And what impacts our lives, it's not always it's not always obvious to us, to ourselves, you know. Um, so how should we think about motivation, action, decisions within the context of, or maybe we don't think about it. I don't know. These things are just happening, right?
yes.
But the unraveling seems to depend upon us. Decisions need to be made.
Yeah,
You know, people need to figure out how to get out of the heat and so on.
yeah, yeah. I would say it's just what's happening. So this, if the the heat is felt, you know, the heat can be felt, and there can be a desire arising from this to do something about that, trying to cool off, you know, the body. But that, as it is not registered as being done by. It is not registered as being done by somebody. There is a feeling of a heat happening, trying to fix that's happening, the mosquito bite happening, looking for its whereabouts happening, trying to get rid of it happening. You know, it's not registered as being done by somebody who was born one day. So there is no resistance here. That's if there's something happening that feels uncomfortable for the body, there can be something that says, "But it's okay, it's fine." The, the 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 situations, whatever is happening, can be fixed. You know, can be rearranged. Things that are not good, they can uh, be fixed. You know, if there is a car coming towards this body can move aside. You know, it
Maybe,
cannot
maybe
just allow
not.
itself to be knocked down. So sorry.
I said maybe, maybe not.
Yeah.
Lots of things can't be fixed, right?
Yeah.
Lots of things can't be fixed.
Yeah.
And lots of things maybe shouldn't be fixed. I mean, people talk about the difference between wants and needs, right? I mean, people's motivation to do better for themselves is destroying the world. I mean, objectively speaking, right? Greed is so in our stories, just getting out of the way of the
Yeah.
car, and then there's, I don't know, our yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say. There's puzzles in the story. The story has puzzles, I guess. Um, we're not always conscious of all the pieces. It's difficult to see all the pieces. It appears as if there's someone putting together the puzzle, trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And, if you go this way, this happens. If you go that way, that happens. That was the wrong way. Seems to matter. It seems to matter. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. It may also seem in the experience of separation, it may also seem as if there's somebody who is in charge, who's doing the fixing, who's trying to get rid of the the problems that are the challenges that are coming, you know, but that itself as it is, the feeling or thoughts arising from this saying there is someone there who's doing this and that. That's one should be held accountable. That's it's nothing as it is. It is seen as just an appearance in this. It is this doing everything, thinking that there is somebody who should be held accountable, thinking that somebody is a doer of things, you know. So and so has done this and that. Somebody wants to be a king, or some presidents wants to be a king, to be respected, to be in charge of all the countries. Those are just stories arising in this. But in the experience of separation, that may seem as if it's real. There's a real president, there's real countries, real people who are concerned, who are walking around the streets, you know, fighting for their rights. You know, it means nothing to this because it's also an expression of this. It may seem to mean something in the experience of separation. The experience of separation itself, it's not wrong or right. There's nothing here that is trying to get rid of that, because that as it is also an expression of everything, of this nothingness, vastness. You can call it whatever, it doesn't really matter, because itself as it is nameless, it is wordless. It is not a thing that can be grasped. It is not a thing that can be found. Yet somehow it is also seen that it is always found. It is always itself as everything. It has never lost itself. It has never forgotten itself. That which seems to be separate from this, it can only be real to its own self, in its own imagination. It can only be real, but it's never real. It is nothing. It is just like a cloud. cloud. It's here now, seems to be there, but it's never there. It's nothing. It's fleeting. It can never be grasped. What you really are can never be seen, can never be grasped, can never be held in view. It is not a thing that can be seen. This can't be seen. This can't be known because it is everything. It's just this which is formless, appearing as forms, as different forms, or as what seems to be different forms. So somehow, this as it is, this as a whole, knows itself as everything. It doesn't know separation. It doesn't know itself in a traditional way of being a person knowing something through knowledge or knowledge held in the memory or something that is memorized. This knowing itself, it knows itself as nothing, not as something, as something that can be seen, that can be held in a way. So when something is known, that somehow becomes a story because it is a knowledge. It is just a knowledge that was taught. Like, for instance, to think that you are a human being, you are a man, you know, that's just a knowledge. Somebody uh, taught that, somebody you were told that you are a human being, you are a man, you were born, you're gonna die one day, but that's not the truth. You know, the real truth is before you were given a name, before you were given a knowledge that you are a human being, you are a man, you are so and so, you are Charles. Even before that, you were already everything. But the knowledge was imposed in what seems to be the consciousness. Then somehow it was recorded there and memorized until this time. Then it seems as if it's you, but it's what you really are can never be known, can never be touched, can never be seen, can never be held in view. It is not divided. It is shapeless, it is formless, it is empty, yet full. It can never really be known by reading knowledge or reading books, you know, because it's something that it's already there. It's already there, even without trying to know. It's already there, even without memorizing anything. It's already there, even without trying to memorize glimpses that happened. It's already there. It can never be found and it can never be lost. It is already informationless. It doesn't need any knowledge to know itself. The mind may try to think about it, memorize it, to remember it, to even meditate, trying to find it. But somehow, in a way, in the story, it may seem as if uh, something is getting away from it. But that's as it is as well. It's not true. It's not quite true because it's already the case. It's already here. It can never be missed. You know, it can never be forgotten. It is as it is right here, right now. Even without words spoken, it's already the case. Even without thinking or memorizing happening, it's already the case. Even without feeling anything, it's already the case. It doesn't depend on the mind trying to find it for it to be what it is. It is not what it is because it has been found. It's already what it is without trying to do anything, without trying to find it. Because even what seems to be trying to find it is already it. So it's all there is. There's really nothing to be done. There's really nothing to fix. There's really nothing to remember. There's really nothing to forget. Just this only, everything. So what is being spoken here is not spoken from knowledge, knowing something. It's just speaking happening or an experience of separation happening, and this trying to or talking about that as a result of an experience of separation, which itself as it is, it doesn't belong to anyone. It's also an expression of wholeness appearing as an experience of separation and and itself as it is talking about it, that there is no separation. There's just this unity of all things, apparently. So there's nothing to know, and there's nobody here who's separate that can know anything already. There's no one here feeling sad, feeling happy, trying to get, losing hope, thinking that there's something other than this. It is all there is. It is the whole thing as it is just this expressing as what seems to be somebody, excuse me, thinking that there's something to get, there's something other than this, there's a way to reach this, or somehow this has been lost. It is all there is. It is just this appearing as that. Even when such thoughts don't arise anymore, that's also this. It's not this because thoughts don't arise anymore. It is this even in the midst of thoughts coming up and something trying to, or something identifying with thoughts as well. It is already this wholeness. It's not wholeness because thoughts, they are not thoughts that are arising. There's a peaceful feeling or a bliss that seems to be experienced. Now it is this. No, it is this before and after, if I should say.
So, I mean, if we think about bliss, the idea of bliss that accompanies a direct experience of this, right? It's experienced as pleasure, generally. It's a pleasure. Uh, and, along with that comes freedom from fear, right? And that's what a lot of us are after, I think. It's a goal. This immediately pollutes the whole story. Because if you have desire, if you've got pleasure, um, that gets in the way of this. So eventually that seems to wear down, right? You realize that there's no bliss will come and go. It's an experience on the journey. Um, and it doesn't matter. It's here. This is here all the time anyway. So I don't know. Stop asking questions. You're gonna rob me of my questions anyway. What are we to make of these motivations? What are we to make of these puzzles? There's a term called spiritual bypassing. Do you know what that? Have you heard that? Spiritual bypassing. So spiritual bypassing is what they call uh, people in the Buddhist community or non-dual community using the idea of awareness and seeking for awareness to ignore their life. To ignore the problems that come up in life and say, forget paying my bills, forget forget all this stuff that's bugging me. I'm just gonna focus on this. But what I already hear you saying is that too is just happening.
Mm. Yes. Um, You know, these they may seem to be different bodies, different expressions, different desires arising from what seems to be different bodies. So that's just make an example. They say George, like for instance, George may appear to to desire uh, an out of the body experience. George may appear to spend the whole of his life trying to leave the body and experience different realms. You know, that's expression itself as it is also the totality, ex experiencing itself as George, trying to leave the body and look and see different realms, visit different realms, you know. To some others, it may seem to be also a total different experience, you know, different desires, you know, but it's still just that's which is neutral appearing as that. It is experiencing itself in different forms, but itself as it is, it's not different. It's just one. It's you know. So we can never really have same desires, you know. Some to some it may express as somebody who wants to get a higher position in a big company, you know. To some it may appear as somebody who wants to be a great businessman, to be influential, you know, in the whole world for for the upcoming youth to look up to him, or you know, it may express as different things, you know, but it's still just this. So whatever is arising from this is this already. So that's the message. This
I don't know if I
isn't
like this for
trying to
you.
change anything.
I don't know if I like this
Sorry?
sometimes. I don't know if I like this sometimes.
That this too. It's saying those words.
Doesn't really say much for this. This is this is taste. For God's taste. God has terrible taste, apparently. At least it's expressed as humans.
Yeah, expressing as this, or should I say God expressing itself as a human is is one of its limited expression, if I should say. This expressing itself as limited, you know, but it's never limited. It's unlimited. Everything may arise in this. It may do all sorts of things. It may choose to forget itself, playing the game of remembering and forgetting. It may choose to be a reverend, a pastor. It may choose to be a businessman, an astronaut. It may choose to be an elephant. It may choose to be an ant, playing a game as an ant. You know, it's already that. It's already every experience. You know, it's already it's beautiful. It's beautiful as it is. So this seeing itself as everything, it doesn't really try to change anything. Trying to change something that may seem to happen in the experience of remembering and forgetting itself. When it's playing a game of remembering and forgetting, when it pretends as if it has forgotten itself, it may seem to try to change the world. But the world is as it is already okay. It's beautiful. The world is okay.
You like it, huh?
Sorry?
You think it's okay. You think the world's just fine.
If you were to see that the world is a hologram, the world is a simulation, would you think that there is a need to change anything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I was trying to say earlier. In the hologram, there's puzzles. So do you know about the idea of the subconscious? What people mean when they say the subconscious?
Yeah, yeah.
So somebody's angry and they don't realize they're angry, so they say something to hurt somebody, but they don't even know that that's why they're doing it, or a lot of times self-sabotage is a really good example. People, you know, don't want to be successful or don't want to break from their comfortable patterns or things parents say to people when they're young. It puts these demons in us that are very hard to see. Um, and I guess one of the things about spirituality is it helps break those patterns, right? At least in the beginning, you start to see yourself more objectively, your life more objectively, and you're able to put the puzzle together. That puzzle is very compelling. the puzzle, the puzzle of life, the puzzle of your subconscious, and not even knowing yourself as the illusion. It's all very compelling, you know. And even, this idea of spiritual bypassing, you know, the idea that even though the illusory self may have these experiences, um, there may be an understanding, even though the mind may be an illusion, there may be some sort of grasping of some sort of universal truths, like we're talking about here, even though all of that. There's still the subconscious coming up. They're still doing the right things. They're still needing the right in the streets. There's still all the things in the hologram that demand attention, puzzles to be
Yeah.
worked out. You know, I would ask, how does one balance that? How does one think about that dichotomy? But I know that you would say it's just what's happening.
Yeah, I would say not knowing that this is a hologram, taking this to be real, somehow it is also this wholeness experiencing that. So that's as it is, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. And it's a beautiful experience to take this hologram as real, as something real, you know. It's beautiful. But the forgetfulness that comes with it, somehow it may seem as if it's not really good. It's not good at all. Something trying to get rid of the whole thing, something trying to get rid of the story, committing suicide, you know.
Yeah, that's a pretty good example.
But sorry?
That's a good example.
But it's also a good feeling when the discovery that has been made that it was just a hologram. You never really committed any suicide. There were never really any family members that belonged to you. You never really had a child. You never really had a mother or a father. It was just a hologram. It was just a story. It was just a movie. The discovery as well. It's pleasurable to finally discover that. So, mm, I thought that was real.
But there's
So
so
that
many
can
things,
happen. Sorry.
there's so many things pulling us back. Always. There's so many things pulling us back.
Yeah, yeah. But I can also say we shouldn't rob ourselves for the ultimate experience of knowing or recognizing that this was just a hologram. That is very exciting. It's pleasurable. Somehow this likes to experience such, you know. It may happen to go through pain, suffering, challenges, uh, depression in the story, just for just to experience the discovery that all those were just nothing. This was just a hologram. This was just a simulation. I was never really there. I was never really separate from everything. I've always been myself as everything. So it's such a relief, you know. It's not a personal relief. It's just this vastness, recognizing itself that it has never been a human being that is separate from itself. It has never been flesh and blood. It has always been the spirits, the totality, the spaciousness, the boundless energy.
So let me ask you, you know, if we can speak of the real world for a second, the real hologram for a second. When you started to have these experiences, right? There must have been epiphanies about the hologram that came up, right? You must have discovered things about you and your past and how they affect your behavior and how they must have just arisen, right?
Hmm.
What did you make of it? What should one make of it?
Yeah, I would say during the seeking, the intense seeking that used to happen, yeah, if I can recall, there would be remembering, remembrance of past experiences, this remembering itself as remembering its past life as different forms of expression. Like, for instance, this remembering itself as another being from the other universe, being taken by what you call flying saucers or spaceship by a mother, 4 feet tall mother. I remember we spoke about these stories. I don't know. It's been a while. This remembering itself as a 4 feet tall being with antennas, meeting the mother that has been like away for some time. This has also remembered itself as a Bigfoot, uh, living in the jungle there with families. This has also remembered itself as a warrior going to a war as warriors. not bipedal warriors, but warriors that uses both legs and arms, you know,
So you're going in and
leading
out.
leading the army.
Warriors
Or
that were
that's why not bipedal.
not on your legs. Yeah.
Yes, we're using like both legs and arms to walk. So I was leading the army there. We were carrying spears in a way. So I had that past memories. I've recalled that. This has been remembered here. Yeah, there are so many experiences, past life experiences that has been like coming up in my during the seeking, so-called like, seeking experience that used to be happening here. So yeah, I never really spoke about this because I never saw this as something, in a way significant, if I should say.
I guess I was thinking more about things like grief. You know,
Hmm.
I know there's been a lot of grief, with your mother and father and so forth, or um, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say that happened as well because there was such time where this wanted to commit suicide, you know, just get rid of the body, and as well there were glimpses there because this was like making like was looking uh for the purpose of it being here in the world. That's the story that used to come up here. Why am I here? Who brought me here? What am I doing here? Who am I? You know. So such questions, they caused some glimpses to come up at the time, to come up and then recognizing that I'm nobody. There's nothing here. Such glimpses used to, you know, come up and go away. Yeah. But nothing led to anything. Those experiences or glimpses, they never led to anything, what I should say.
Yeah, our problems pull us back into the movie.
Sorry?
Our problems pull us back into the movie, you know. But I guess we can just watch the movie.
Yeah. But I would also say the informationless self is never pulled by anything.
Yeah.
The informationless self that you really are is never really affected by anything. What can be affected is only a story about who you are, which is untrue. The story that is believed in may seem to be affected by things of the world, stories, different stories of the world. But what you really are which is already informationless, can never really be affected. Because if you were to remove the information about you, if the information about you was to be taken aside and removed, what will be left? Charles, Charles and the surname and the family, Charles family, and everything about Charles is taken away. Then what is left? Because all those is just the knowledge that is memorized,
But the
just the
puzzle is
knowledge in the
still,
memory.
but the puzzle is still there. The puzzle is still there. The puzzle is underneath the information. The puzzle of Charles is still there. Whether Charles is imaginary or not, the puzzle is still there. The hologram. The hologram is still there. There's the hologram, and then there's the story, right? The story about the hologram. The story about the hologram is only
What
a way.
about you?
Pardon?
What about you?
The witness.
What about you? Yeah.
Just the witness.
The real you is untouched by anything. The real you is untouchable. The real you can never be disturbed by anything. The real you can never really be affected by puzzles. Only the idea you take yourself to be, the idea of what you take yourself to be, if I should say, it's just an idea. It's not true. To say you are a body, you are flesh and blood, no, that's not true. This sees you as the totality, as all there is. Even when you ask questions, even when you give answers, it's just all there is, asking questions, giving answers. This doesn't see Charles. It really doesn't see the other. It sees itself as everything. So Charles is everything. Playing a game of remembering and forgetting. You are indestructible. You are deathless. You are birthless. You are formless. You are empty of any story. The stories are just an appearance in you. They never really affect you. What can be affected is only a thought construct arising from that which you really are as everything. It's just a thought. And thoughts when thoughts are looked for they can never really be found. The looking itself doesn't have a story. The seeing itself right now, it doesn't have any story. The memory may seem to, like, when things are memorized, it may seem as if there is a real story, attached to the seeing. But the seeing itself, it's just as it is, it's just seeing. It is formless. It is not a man or a woman. It doesn't have any culture. It doesn't have any story. It doesn't have any memory. It is just seeing. It is present. It is here and now. It's never in the past. It's never in the future. It is never yesterday. It is never today. It is never tomorrow. It is never in the morning, in the afternoon, or evening. It is formless. It is empty. It is weightless right here. It doesn't need to be it doesn't need to be remembered, you know. Therefore, it can never really be forgotten because it's always here. That which can't be forgotten or remembered, that can only be here now. It's just right here.
I feel it. I see it.
Yeah.
I feel it. I see it. I also see these damn puzzle pieces.
I think those puzzles they needs to be destroyed somehow. Just kick them away.
Well, I can't find all the damn pieces anyway, so mine's well. Okay, Nkosi. This was great. Thank you. Talk to you next week.
Yeah. Well,